marks here that I'm supposed to not cross. So, but in UX there are no such boundaries. Yeah. So yeah, that's my name. Uh, Basically, I'm a UX practitioner. I've been working for about 18 years. I'm really happy that all of you have taken time out and come here. It clearly shows that you want to invest in yourself. What I mean by that, I'll come to it in a bit. Basically, the three of us have come here and we want to share our experiences with you, right? So the flavors are slightly different. In my case, I'll be walking you guys through my career path. It's a bit wonky. It's not very straightforward. So maybe there is something for you to grasp and understand. So mine is not a typical designer journey, right? That's me doing some welding at a workshop. Why I'm doing it is not important, but I'm just saying that these are some of the various things that I've tried. So basically, I'm a programmer who started with got into the animation side of things. Then I went into print media. Then I did advertising. Then I did graphics design, and finally UX. And now you could also say that I couldn't make up my mind. That's one way of looking at it. But the thing is, I basically was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. So before I actually get into the journey, right, I just want to show you these are some of the industries and verticals that I've worked on. I have been very fortunate that I've got the opportunity to work on these things. So telecom, fashion, healthcare, education, information technology. So the time I started was when web design was making its foray, and people are just getting interested in it. So by the kgs, right, we used to do websites. So like in a year, we used to do like 150 websites and all that. And this is in the year 2000 when people did not even know what a website meant. I've got a slew of other big ticket websites that I managed to do. Christ College, National Law School. So all of them, due to some stroke of luck and the education that I was continuously pursuing, I was able to do that all by myself. So I did the coding and the design all by myself. Some of it, of course, it's luck, but the other thing is, other parts are planning, right? So 1999 is when I was doing my education. I came to Bangalore to do my BSc Computer Science, right? Has any of you heard of BASIC, COBOL, Pascal and Fortran? Okay, so only about 10%. Those are not names of medicines, they are actual programming languages. And mine was the last batch in Bangalore University to do those courses, right? So basically, what that meant is at the end of the course, there's a good chance that we'll be begging in Kempegowda bus stand because there was no future for those courses. I mean, it's easier to make fun of those courses now, but they are the stepping stones, right? But the truth of the matter is, there typically would not be any future in programming if you were to consider those programming courses. So obviously, apart from my degree, I had to do something to augment it, right? I couldn't really trust that. So what we did is, there was a program by NIT, I think NIT is still around, I'm not too sure. So they used to have a course called GNIT. So to augment the programming that we learned, I joined GNIT. So there was C++, C, Visual Basic, and I was all set, I thought. So like, you're doing Basic COBOL Pascal on one side and C, C++ on the other. So basically I was a very busy college student. So the end of it, it all worked out well. When I got admission in Christ College in MCA, there was some technical problem because of which the course got delayed, right? So there was a 2-month delay. And then I spent some time thinking about that, the course, right? And then sadly, it dawned on me that I don't love programming. I like it, but I don't love it. And that was a bit of a shocker for me. So I took those 2 months to think about it a bit more, and with a heavy heart, I mean from both sides, I told my parents that I don't want to continue with my MCA course and I want to pull back that money. It was very difficult for them to understand, but the thing is, I was not able to tell them what I wanted to do. So luckily the college gave me the entire money back, and I joined a web design course. That was the in thing, and because of the word design on the other side, web design, I thought maybe it'll work out for me because I was always interested in design a bit. So yeah, I started with that. But as luck would have it, it was a 6-month course, right? As luck would have it, within 3 months something happened and the founders ran away with the money, right? So basically I was just introduced to some software like Photoshop, HTML programming, like Dreamweaver and some stuff like that. But that's about it. I just got a foundation and the course is over. All the money that I had invested in the first semester of MCA went put. So yeah, I was stuck. But as luck would have it, because there was somebody else in the same course who knew a friend of a friend who was starting a company. So in the year 2000, when we were not familiar with the word startup, people were still doing startups without having all the nice label about the startup then. So I joined him, and I was the first employee. And for 2 years we did this 2 kgs of websites a day. Like every day some new website would go out and things like that. And then luckily for me, software called Flash came into the picture. So Flash was basically a software to do animation, right? And the best part about Flash is you can animate, you can do design, you can also program. So they had a thing called action scripting, because of which, like, whatever you design, you can add your coding to it and then make something more interactive. So it was a dream come true. Like programming, which I like, and designing, which I love, is coming together in one software. So managed to do a lot of things there as well. Yeah. So about 2002, when I think the proprietor wanted to do something else, he quit, and then we were left without a company. So at that time, I was still exploring things. I believed I was good at copywriting, right? It was a sea change, so I believed I was good at copywriting, and I was very interested in advertising. So a friend of mine luckily was starting something in a garage, a small advertising company. So I joined him. So totally gave up all the learning that I did, programming, everything, put in a bag, started doing advertising. There, of course, I learned the tricks of the trade. Like I learned print design. I did a bit of copywriting. In fact, I wrote a script which got translated into Kannada. It was meant for farmers, I think. Yeah, it was meant for farmers. It was for drip irrigation, right? So the sea change that you see is amazing, right? One day you're programming nice fancy animation for something. Next day you're doing something about drip irrigation. So I mean, the learning was immense. Yeah, so I'm somewhere in the year 2000. Then after that, I mean, things like finally, right? Every time you call home, the parents ask you, "How are you doing? Paise mil rahe ki nahi?" So that question was never. I was not never able to give a satisfactory answer. So then, kind of got important, and then I knew I had to move on. So in 2003, I joined a design studio called Apparatus Media Lab. We were one of the first UX studios, right? Focused on UX. I mean, design studios focused on UX. It was a big thing. Shiva was running the company. So in fact, I joined to do the website. It was a freelance project, but I think we hit it off, and then I decided to continue. So there till the year 2008, I did a lot of all kinds of small things. My lead role, he couldn't really define what I was doing, right? I was doing HTML programming for a few days. Then someday I would do animation, then graphic design, print design. So basically, like one of those guys who can, like a chameleon, basically shift shapes. And by the way, during this time, I also happened to do an MBA in an evening college. So the key thing that kept driving me is I just want to learn more. But the only problem is I was not able to tell myself, okay, you're learning a lot more. What are you going to do with it? Like there are thousands of books at home. Right? You would just reading, what are you going to do with it? And I was not able to ever give a satisfactory answer even to myself. But I've always believed that someday it would pay off, right? That all these small things that you're learning, someday it'll all connect, but I don't know when. People ask me, I never would be able to say. Then, am I missing something? 2 courses, yeah. So then, what happened by a stroke of luck? I mean, of course, we were quite busy those days. There was an enterprise application that had come to Apparatus Media Lab, and one of my colleagues said that Joe should be put on it, and then but the UX director said no, I don't think he's ready yet. And I said, what are you talking about? I've been working so long and I know so many software. I know I'm well written. How can you say I don't know? Then he said something like, your usability thing is not there. You're not there yet. I said, nothing doing. Show me the application. I just couldn't make sense of it. It was probably the most complicated screen I had ever seen. Now, obviously, I would not be able to do justice to it. I was not put on that project, and I took it a little hard. So what I did is I tried to learn about it. By that time, I think a lot of websites had come up. YouTube was there. People were writing blogs about it. So I thought I'll try to figure it out myself. It just was taking too long. Like after a few months, if you ask me whether I was an expert in usability, not really. I could define what is usability. Those are the kind of things you could do, but I couldn't really come up with something useful. Then there was a course that was run by HFI, Human Factors International. So they had a course which was Certified Usability Analyst. That was the CUA that was running. There was only two small problems. One, I had to take a 10-day holiday leave from work, which was like a luxury and impossible. Second thing, the course cost 3 times my monthly salary. So I really had to do a lot, dig deep into my reserves in both ways. I requested the management and everybody said okay, and I joined the course, right? So that's the thing. The course costs 3 times your salary. You have to take 10-day leave, both of which are really difficult. But somehow when you believe in it, something happens from within, and then you want to just do it and try to wrap it up. I went for the course. In about 3 days, what they was talking about was stuff that I had already read about. So I was wondering if I made a bad call. But like the 4th day onwards, the kind of interactions that we did were way better, right? So people started talking about case studies and the examples. So the thing is, for 10 days, it was only discussion on usability, right? Even jokes were on usability. So like that's amazing. So after that interaction, I felt that I understood the whole system a little better. Then when I went back the next week, I said, show me the application, and then it totally made sense to me. I'm joking, it never happens. Just because you take a 10-day course, things don't become clear, right? What actually happened is that screen did not intimidate me anymore, right? I think that is an amazing realization that happened. So what I felt deep within me that now that I have this capacity to learn and understand, I will try to deconstruct that screen and then do something about it. So for me, it kind of worked out well. And luckily, I happened to be there at the beginning of all of these interesting discoveries and innovations. Like when website design came, I was there at the beginning of it. Mobile apps, e-commerce. So I've witnessed the beginning, the growth and evolution, everything about all these things. So and I'm also lucky that I'm able to practice what I'm learning. So after that particular course, mentally said, I am a UX designer, don't give me these small things, I want to do something bigger and better. So with that realization, I think overall my entire demeanor changed. I changed myself, and I started doing things a little more tighter. I think I worked for about 11 years in Apparatus Media Lab. I think 9 years, and then we got acquired by Ogilvy. Now, if you notice, when I went in 2002, right, advertising, when I joined, Ogilvy was the benchmark. I really wanted to go into Ogilvy. And here was Ogilvy walking into my company and taking me in all by themselves. So technically, everything is just working out. And Ogilvy didn't want me for advertising. Ogilvy wanted us for UX design, right? So it was a amazing connect. And then here I am, right? And then I work in a finally I moved on to ether design. That's where I had the UX practice right now. It's a multidisciplinary studio, which means we do not only UX design, we do product design, we have retail and space design, so it's a mix of everything. So now I feel really comfortable that all the stuff that I've learned, it's all coming together. Yeah, so that's my career path. I don't know whether you noticed, but at each step, whenever I felt that I may not be at level with what's happening, I kept doing some smaller things to upskill myself. The other interesting thing I want you to notice is, initially the first course that I did was a 3-year course, right? Next time it was a 6-month course. After that it was 3 months. The last course that I did was a 10-day course. So basically there is something about the time you spend to understand something. You spend 1 year to understand something, you'll kind of lose that time, right? Maybe there is a capsule that you can have that allows you to grasp something very quickly, and maybe it also can tell you that whether you are interested in it at all or not, right? So maybe you attend something and then you see, hey, this is not for me, you can exit it, but you've only lost 10 days, as opposed to you doing a 2-year course and then finding out, right? So that's what I want to leave with you. So enough about myself. Now I'll have like a couple of points about UX as a career. So this slide has UX written all over it, about career moves and all that. So what does it take to be a good UX designer? Would you like to share? I mean, do you have any idea that you would want to share about what you think about UX? Anybody? Any of you are currently practicing UX people in your office? No one yet? Okay. Okay. So could you share something about what do you think it means? I mean, it doesn't need to be very complicated.
About my experience you're talking
Yeah, no, what do you think?
So currently I'm into UX actually. UX means user experience, simplifying the existing applications, or you can redesign your clients' applications with the simple basic usability, like which intuits the users automatically.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
Viresh.
Okay. So Viresh has a very interesting point. He says, he used the word simplify. That's very incisive and very important, right? So to be a UX designer, you don't need to have a lot of degrees. You don't need to get very technical about it. So what's your name, sir? Divesh. Okay. So Mr. Divesh is a doctor, right? So technically, somebody from the healthcare profession, like a nurse or a doctor, they can be amazing UX personnel, because they have one quality that a lot of us may not possess, which is empathy, right? Without empathy, you can't be in somebody else's shoes. You don't know what they want and what they don't want. So with a little bit of knowledge in that area, he can become an amazing UX professional, right? You don't need like a technical thing, knowledge and so on. So one primary thing I would say is that you need to have genuine interest in people, right? Once you have that genuine interest, people will open up to you and you can do something about it, correct? Second thing I would like to say is that you should invest in yourself. All the courses that I've been doing, all the reading that I've been doing, I'm basically investing in myself. So when I said that you guys are investing in yourself, when you guys came in and started my talk, that's what I kind of meant. That by coming here, taking time off on a Saturday, you could be doing other things, you're investing in yourself. Maybe after this talk, some of you might feel that it's not of any interest to me, I cannot go further, which is also okay. Some of you might get drawn to it a little more, that is also okay, right? So that's the whole idea. Spend some time, quality time, spend very it should be like a small time capsule, consume it and then see how it goes. This is what I meant. So this is the last slide. I won't give you too much gyan. So if you figure it out in the least time possible, you'll get more time to do other things. So like in my 18 years, if you just calculate the time I just spent on studying, it's 2-3 years totally. It's quite a lot of time. Maybe there's something you can do that helps you understand what you want to do in a shorter span of time. Yeah, so I want to conclude my small session with just one work example that I want to show you. So this is a project called Virginia Education Wizard. It's basically all these: a website, it's a portal, and it's a mobile app, right? So typically, Virginia Education Wizard is something that collects data from community colleges in a state in the US called Virginia, right? Community colleges is basically what the equivalent of your plus two or 11th and 12th standards there. And what happens there is a lot of people drop off after school, right? So there is this gap that remains between the graduation and the thing, and a lot of, because of that, it's very difficult to get the people back into the fold, into the education fold. That is when kids take to crime. They spend time on the streets and stuff like that. So one primary reason is education is expensive, right? So community colleges is what comes into the picture to make it easier for people who cannot afford quality education to bridge that gap, right? So it doesn't mean that they are just cheap colleges. The quality of the college is good. It's just that it's funded by the public. So this is a small example that Central Virginia Community College cost that much. The average public 4 institution costs that much. So the moment you see a price difference, the students will happily jump on and take that path. So we got the opportunity. We had a friend who used to work she's still in Virginia. She passed on that project to us, and we got to do the entire design for the entire application. It took about 8 to 9 months, right? So it's a very involved project. So I'll just show you that site and no, why I'm showcasing this website is because you don't get an opportunity to work on projects like this, right? One, it's a different culture altogether. You have to understand the sentiments, right? Whatever you assume about education here, it may not be true there as well. So you kind of try to understand the what the students are thinking. Now, for example, I questioned why would you need a mobile app. This is about 4-5 years back what we did. And the students in our colleges were still getting used to the idea of getting a mobile phone in their hands, right? They already had it, right? So that means they could consume. So even though they don't have like a proper housing, everything, they have mobile phones, and they have like iPhones or whatever, like hand-me-downs, whatever. So they are a step ahead as far as tech is concerned. So just because it's a community college, just because it's a public college, doesn't mean you can design something that is boring and plain. Students will not accept anything like that. They want to be part of something big that looks classy. So we had to pull all stops. This is not like a government college equivalent, right? So the interesting thing is there are 3 sections. So students, veterans, and the workforce. So kids who are like completing the 10th standard, they want to know what they should be doing later in life. Maybe they have somebody to advise at home, or maybe they don't. But how to find out? Then there are war veterans. There are people who are coming back from war. They might have, they typically are just 25, 26-year-olds, right? So they might have just killed some 20, 30 people. Coming back, they're finding it very difficult to adjust in the society. And they find it very difficult to get jobs. People are scared, they are also scared. So somebody has to come in between to bridge the gap for them. And finally, there's a workforce. So there are a lot of people who have talents who want to go to the next level. And so unlike here, there is a dignity of labor there. So even a plumber or whoever, right, they have levels there. They want to do better there and catch some education and get to the next level. So this whole website allows you to read about what are the opportunities that are available, right? And what are the careers that are possible. So for example, if you go to the veterans page, you have these sections. So even the language, right? is not like totally non-army like. So it's kind of inclusive. We know you're coming from the battlefield, so we'll try to use language that is you understand, right? So we use words like team. So here we got to do the copywriting, we got to do the design, we got to do all these applications that are there within it, hidden within it. So there is a career finder, college program for veterans, career assessment for veterans. So it runs wide and deep. You can see. So straight up they'll give you examples of what are the things that you can do. So typically if you like war veteran, just a killing machine, right? I mean that's what we cold-hearted. But they want to come back and adjust to the society. What are the things that they can do? So they can become truck drivers. The salary is not small. It's like a good career to have. But it says requiring 1 year, less than 1 year of retraining, greater than 1 year of retraining. So it all depends on how much you want to invest in yourself, and then you can get on track. So there are sections that we made, like accommodation. How do you find a career coach? Financial aid, quick retraining. Basically, if you want to progress in your career and your life, this is the one place to go to if you're in Virginia, right? And you can get affordable education. So that was what the site did. 4 years down the line, the site is still almost immaculately kept, which almost never happens. Typically, when we design something, within 2 months, once they put up actual content, their own content, the design goes wonky, and we ourselves don't like to present it. This is one thing that has stood the test of time. So I can proudly say that this is working quite well. Okay, just one last thing I want to say. So this, I mean, you can take a look at this site. This is a live site. You can take a look at it for your own academic interest. So typically, when you start out, like today, you will be thinking that I need to lead a particular kind of lifestyle, right? I may want to start a family. I want to live in a 2 BHK somewhere. I want to own it. I want to have like internet. I probably need to have a one car and so on. So I mean, of course, these are materialistic way of thinking, but at the same time, that's what everybody will want to have later on. So we have a section called Imagine. How much is enough? Now, if these are the conveniences that you want, right, and you live in a particular area, how much will it cost you, right? What is the amount of money you need to make in a month to achieve that target? Suppose the figure is $50,000 a month, or like even lower, or sorry, 50,000 a year. Then what are the career choices that are available for you to do it? So basically, whichever way you look at it, you will end up a career that will work for you at the current point of time. Just a flavor, just this one last thing. So like that, yeah, right? You can choose an efficiency apartment, 1 bedroom apartment. So basically, this is the equivalent of aate dal ka bhav, right? You can think big, no problem in that, but if this is a little more practical way of looking at it. So like this, there are at least some 10-15 tools that are built into the site. We also happen to do the admin section for it, where the mentors log in, check the students, and if typically a lot of students drop out, because the problem is if you give anything free to anybody, they will not give much value to it. So they have to keep following up and then finding out. So like that, there are a lot of tools were built into it. So yeah, this is one interesting process. If you can take a look at the URL, it will be a good learning experience. So I think I've covered what I wanted to say. One is show my career path. Maybe you can pick up something from there. The 3 small tokens that I said, and then finally a good example that you want. So yeah. So this kind of completes what I want to say. Thank you for your patience. I know I may have been a bit of a monotonous voice. Maybe you can clear your ears a bit. No problem. The best is yet to come. Don't worry. So any questions so far? Any answers? All right. Thanks a lot. Yeah, sure.
So my question is, does it mean the entire session, does it mean that anybody from any of the field can be a UX designer? Is it true?
No, sir. I think it's an excellent question. I believe so. Yeah. So That's what I was trying to say. So if you're from any field, right, when you want to put it together and see it come to life, that time you might need some tech knowledge. Otherwise, there is no such requirement. I feel my primary criteria, I think, is if you are genuinely interested in the other person, if you are empathetic, right, then the ideas will automatically flow, right? As regular people, whatever we do in real life at home and otherwise, we are designing the user experience, right? For example, if you have elder parents at home and you keep some things a little lower so that your mother can access it easily, that itself is user experience, right? You're designing the user experience for your mother. So like that, every small thing, if you see there is some use to it, you just need to compile it, put it together. Of course, when it comes to something like an enterprise application, which if the world is the screen, there the skill is slightly different. But you want to design an app or a website for something different, you don't need to you can come from any field. I believe so.
So is it a safe zone for a fresher too?
So what do you mean by safe zone?
Safe zone in the sense, will he have a immediate engagement or employment for him?
So the thing is, how do you, if you've learned something, how do you project it to somebody, right? Like the way you are asking me something, I'm able to answer and articulate and tell you some 4 or 5 things. So as a fresher, will you be able to do that? That is what you need to see, right? You need to learn, study about it a bit more, understand the mechanics and then do. But please don't jump into anything because UX is the hottest thing in 2017, 2018. UX is the highest paying job. If that is the primary criteria, then maybe I don't think anybody will go that far. It is a slow process, and you have to pick up small things that happen all around it, but eventually it can happen. But as a fresher, you should be able to explore like as deep as it you need to. But don't expect immediate results. That is what I would say. Yep.
So does it include content writing, color combinations, and is there some tools which will be applied for UX experience, user experience? These are all my questions.
Okay.
I'm coming up with a food startup.
Okay.
Where how can I apply this user experience? Of course, I can apply the user experience over there, but how to look for a person who is the best person I can judge, like he is going to do best user UX builder
Okay.
for myself.
Okay.
How do you get a best doctor? Let me ask you. How do you get a best doctor?
Yeah, we cannot say they're best doctor until we meet them and then.
Same,
yeah.
exactly the same.
But also, if we have seen their, the work that they have done before,
Yeah.
like suppose as he showed me the website,
Yeah.
that makes me understand that he's he's a good UX builder. But that is a way, of course. But apart from you guys, if I am going for someone else, so how will I be able to understand that he is going to build a best?
I think the focus of this course is to build UX designers, not necessarily to judge UX designers. So if you actually get the learning and the ability to understand what a good UX designer is, you probably will be able to understand whether a UX designer will give you that. I mean, there are lots of.
You mean to say I have to go through the course?
You need to understand what the course contains. So you still haven't understood what the course contains. So if you understand what the course contains, you will probably be able to make a better judgment than what you're doing now.
So if I go through the following one, then you say that.
Possibly, I'm not promising you anything, but yes. Yeah, I would think. Sorry, I had to jump in on that.
No problem.
Because of that.
So the thing is, a few of my friends also are doing the same kind of work that you are doing. Some of them have their own blogs, startups and all that. So the guys who do the best, come up with the best apps and so on, are the guys who are able to figure it out by themselves, right? So if you have like a food startup, even if you're engaging someone else, it's best that you understand how the whole system works, correct? So just because you hire an agency, a good hiring agency, will not work out.
So that's what I got a person who said that the best
Right.
maybe
No, because you are saying you are a startup, I think you should invest time in trying to understand. Yeah. A friend of mine is running a good blog all by herself, right? I offered to help her to build up the whole blogging site in WordPress and everything. For some reason, she was just not coming back, and she's a very good dear friend. But the thing is, she, yeah. The thing is, there are so many tools that allow you to build stuff without knowing coding. So unless you do it yours, yeah.
Can we wait for the next one? Let's go through the
Yeah,
next
so
one.
I think
Hold
we can answer your question. Yeah,
Hold the question.
we'll answer. Yeah,
We'll visit that again.
yeah. But we really want to answer your question
Yeah.
at the end of it. Yeah.
A cat killed. Average is dead.